Did you know that Google personalizes many searches by city and Also Asked is the only tool to access live People Also Asked data at city level? Try for free at alsoasked.com.
Tired of SEO guesswork? Quadra's AI agent goes deeper to uncover high-impact optimizations and completes hours of SEO in minutes. Get started now.
I was going to say that SEO with Fat Joe is as peaceful as this, but then the birds are all having fights.
Hello everyone, thank you for coming and staying for this late session. I'm Gokce. I'm a senior paid media consultant at Vervant, which is an e-commerce and paid media consultancy based in London. And I have a master's degree in business intelligence and digital marketing at Brunel University of London. And I'm a regular speaker at international conferences and meetups like Search and Stuff, PPC Live, and PPC Summit. And this is my second time in a row at brightonSEO. And I'm also creator of All About Digital Marketing and Data Analytics newsletter on LinkedIn. You can easily scan this QR code to follow. And most importantly, I am a cat mother. I have two beautiful cats, Büftek and Souffle. I wish to talk about them today, but we are going to talk about ad copy optimization with LLMs. So first, I will share my case study findings with you about various LLM performance on different languages. And second, we will compare the LLMs to find the most suitable ones for our needs. And then I will show you some advanced prompting techniques that you can use easily in your ad copy generation process. And lastly, we will talk about balancing brand voice and culture in your ad copies. So let's start. Are you still using Translate for your multilanguage ad copy generation process in 2025? Don't be scared, LLMs got you covered. I tested LLMs for ad copy optimization on Google Search Ads, and they won. They defeated the human-generated ad copies. Let's look at the results. In German language, ChatGPT-4o got the highest CTR, and then Claude 3.5 Sonnet follows it. And in Turkish, ChatGPT-4o doubled the human-generated one's CTR, and again, Claude 3.5 Sonnet follows the ChatGPT-4o. And this shows us LLMs were efficient in terms of generating clicks, and they produce different and creative ad copies in headlines and descriptions on Google Search Ads. Also, they maintain the cultural authenticity even if they lower source languages like German and Turkish. So, okay. If you are a global company or serving in different markets, I will show you how can you employ LLMs in your ad copies, and we will transform your strategies. Let's look at the large language models and their multilanguage capabilities. You can consider some criteria when you are selecting your LLMs. Okay. The first criteria is multilingual index. This is an average score of models' multilanguage performance test evaluations, including general reasoning and mathematical reasoning. We could see that Claude 3.5 Sonnet and O1 are the most compatible models across languages. And this graph compares various LLM performance on two scales, the multilingual ability at the vertical axis and output speed across horizontal axis. The models on the top right corner are both capable in multiple languages and fast in generating text. For example, Gemini 1.5 Flash and O1 Mini. And another important consideration is models' input and output prices. While Gemini 1.5 Flash and Llama have cheaper prices, Claude 3.5 Sonnet and O1 a bit expensive, but I can recommend that using the latest models regarding their prices. And according to Artificial Analysis website, here is the top 5 models by languages such as English, French, Spanish, Chinese, and Japanese. And if you are going to produce ad copies in these target languages, you can start to test with these models. For example, if you are going to generate French ad copies, you can start to test Claude 3.5 Sonnet, Llama, DeepSeek, O1 Mini, and Q1. So, there are more than 7,000 languages spoken in the world. However, we don't have many resources for these widely spoken languages on the web, and English dominates the online web content, as you can see through these graphs. So, while LLMs train on web data, they are heavily influenced by the dominance of English. This leads us strong performance on English, but weaker performance on lower source languages. So to improve these multi-language capabilities, I will show you some advanced prompting techniques. But first, instead of using this kind of zero-shot prompts, use this kind of well-structured prompts. Our first prompt technique is chain of thought prompting. This approach breaks down complex tasks into clear and logical steps towards a final resolution, and it's beneficial for the complex tasks, and it improves the LLM performance. So how chain of thought prompting works? You need to use examples to help the models learn how to solve problems and break down into steps for reasoning. Basically, include things step by step in your prompt. But if you are going to using guided prompts, you can use some statements like first, then, finally, and again, think step by step. But I can recommend to using this kind of structured prompts for your ad copy generation process. Basically, outline the specific parts to LLMs. You can outline your audience analysis, your product or services benefits, or your tone of voice, and your unique value propositions. And if you are going to using these reasoning LLMs, you don't need to use chain of thought prompting techniques, because these reasoning LLMs have already using this reasoning feature in themselves. But if you are going to using non-reasoning LLMs, you can include this statement at the end of your prompt, because most of the LLMs tend to showing reasoning explanations in the output, which waste our tokens and waste our spend. To prevent this, you can include this statement at the end of your prompt. And secondly, include expert simulator prompting technique. Maybe most of you are familiar with this technique, but it's basically creating personas for specific tasks. For example, you can say as a Google Search Ads expert or as a Meta Ads expert, and combine it with the chain of thought prompting technique. Finally, include cross-lingual prompting technique. Traditional chain of thought technique is effective, but it only works for one language. And cross-lingual prompting technique lets us to handle any language and generating chain of thought specifically for the target language. You can also see the academic research through this link for more details about this technique. But cross-lingual prompting lets us to generate inclusive AI applications, make it accessible for everyone, and breaks down the language barriers. So I will show you how can you apply this technique, basically. I will show some German ad copy generation example that I also used in my case study. As a first statement, you can say, please act as an expert in multilingual understanding in English and insert your detailed prompt in here. And as a second statement, say, let's understand the task in German step by step and include your first prompt German translation in there. And as a last statement, say, after understanding, you should act as an expert in Google search ads in German and let's resolve the task you understand about step by step. With that way, we combined all of the three prompt techniques in one single prompt without directly saying use and generate German ad copies. But if you are wondering more multilingual prompting techniques, you are always welcome to explore them through this graph. And instead of using the AI model's native interfaces, run your prompts on some tools like Langtail. Langtail Playground lets us to direct access to various AI models' APIs, and it's always to predefined limitations. You can easily adjust the max token numbers, and you can select any LLM that you want to use in your ad copy generation process. As we craft our ad copies, it's also important to maintain your brand voice and cultural elements. So, let's look at the brand voice. To keep your brand voice in your ad copies, you need to use some elements in your prompt and feed your prompt with these elements. For example, you can mention your previous ad copy examples, you can specify your selected CTAs, and you can also include your unique selling points. It's because most of the AI models are not good at counting and maths. We need to mention the ad copy length and number. And instead of using directly saying the exact number, you can use a range. For example, you can say as a maximum number of X or as a minimum number of Y. With that way, you can get more better results. And as a best practice, you can also mention your search keywords that you want to include in your ad copies. And you are always include your negative keywords or keywords that you want to not use. And secondly, let's look at the cultural insights. If you want to deliver your ad copies successfully, you need to understand your target language's culture well. In that point, LLMs helps us. So, ask to LLMs consider local traditions, slangs or idioms, or cultural contexts, and always specify the cultural background and local insights the ad should reflect. You can also mention your tone of voice in your prompt. And here is the example prompt that you can use for your include cultural elements. Basically, say, write an ad copy that incorporates local idioms, humor, and cultural references. So, what we have covered. you need to select the most suitable LLM for your target language. And don't be biased of ChatGPT. Always test the latest LLMs and learn from them. And secondly, if your output is not good enough, it's probably because of your prompt. So instead of using the zero-shot prompts, use some advanced prompt techniques. And feed your prompt with your brand voice, your campaign-specific information, and your cultural elements. And lastly, you can automate your ad copy process with easily generating Google Sheet templates or prompt libraries. So, thank you for listening to my talk. I will share my slides.